So Davey Wavy asked other people to tell their coming out stories. One thing that I noticed about Davey's story was that he never really implied that there was a moment he had to come out to himself. For me, that was definitely the case. There was a moment where it was actually a distinct moment. I didn't think this happened, but there was a distinct moment where I was staying after a club meeting, kind of sitting in the room, watching this girl who was talking, and just feeling very anxious, and like literally in one instant it hit me like, oh wow, I have a crush on her. That's bizarre, because I don't like girls. But I distinctly have had a crush on her for at least 3 weeks. It all hit me at once, And of course I was just sitting there, and I didn't want her to see, so I was just sort of like, oh, and, milling through all of these conclusions. But, so, I freaked out about it. I didn't want to be, this was when I was 18, I didn't want to be that girl who goes to a women's college and then, decides to be gay. Of course, after a couple of years, I got some perspective, realized that, 18 years of looking at women should have been a sign that maybe I was gay. All of those awkward little not dates with those not boyfriends, where, it was very nice to be held and to talk to someone, and I loved the conversation. As soon as it got physical, it was just like something just, I don't know, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. It's just like, this shouldn't be happening. It wasn't because they were creepy or sketchy, although some of them probably were. It's because they were male. And, I knew that had been the problem, but it never occurred to me that meant I didn't like men. So, I don't know. Sexuality really kind of is rocket science. I consider myself bisexual because I do get attracted to men. I just don't really, 90% of the time, when it comes down to it, it's kind of like, rather not. So there's that. But as for coming out to other people, it was mostly, I'm very lucky. I have a great relationship with my mom. I was actually able to call my mom and say, oh my God, I think, you should probably sit down. I think I have a crush on this girl. A girl. And my mom got very quiet, and she said, well, wow, so do you think that you might be lesbian? And I told her I think I might be bisexual. And the funny thing is, I knew that my mother would still love me. I knew that there wasn't going to be a catastrophe from that department, but she didn't actually believe in bisexual. She believed that either you were gay, you were straight, or you were confused, and you were incorrect. So, feeling at that moment that I was bisexual, because I certainly hadn't gotten over this whole, I'd gone for so long thinking I was straight. I certainly wasn't all the way over. Hadn't occurred to me that liking girls and not liking guys meant that I was not only gay, but also not straight. But, yeah, so, when I told her that I might be bisexual, I think that she kind of told me that, no, you're not. But the wonderful thing about my relationship with my mom and my mother as a person is that I think it was about 2 months later, she said, maybe I was wrong, which is powerful. I think it really marked how important our relationship was. The kind of person my mother is, in that she can reevaluate these beliefs that she's held. And not everyone can do that. And I'm grateful not only, that's true of her, but to have been raised by her, because I think that helps me kind of develop the same way of thinking, be able to reevaluate things. Which is good when you discover at 18 that you're suddenly in love with a girl. So, that was my first coming out. And of course the second was a phone call to my dad. Now, my dad came from a family where they were evangelical Christians, and the people who their whole family had gone to church twice a week. Sunday, the entire 24 hours was devoted to church. whereas Thursday it was just kind of, maybe 4 or 5. But it was a very intensely religious family. I know that the father was an ordained minister and actually married my father when he remarried to the woman who's now my stepmom. But, very religious, and because my aunt, because my father, after he divorced my mother, shied away from that and kind of kept his religion private, but I knew that my aunt, when asked about gay people, had said that she was very liberal. She didn't hate them. She only hated their sin. Their sin. So, sin. Whew. Didn't want to get into that territory, but I really wanted to be honest with my dad, and you just can't lie about it. I mean, I guess you can. Like, I will probably never tell my aunt unless I get married to a girl or something. But I couldn't lie to my dad. So I just finally told him, like, Dad, I think I might like this girl. And for me that worked. I think it helped that I was, on the opposite coast of the United States. So I had that little barrier, that little safety net, that I didn't have to say it to his face. But, and I think that was good in terms of letting us both come to our own conclusions. But it was also hard not to be able to kind of see their reaction afterwards. So, who knows? Anyway, to commemorate telling my coming out story, I put on my social justice t-shirt. It says, Ningún ser humano es ilegal, and it means no human being is illegal. And that actually is, in this case, a reference to illegal immigrants in the U.S. or people without documentation to be in the U.S. And I think it applies also to other forms of discrimination. I mean, basically the shirt is saying you don't call someone an illegal person. You can't be illegal. What, it's illegal to be Kelsey? But I think it also applies, is it illegal to be gay? Sometimes I feel like it. I mean, you can civil union all you want, and that's only in some states, but it's still not the same as marriage. And in many states, you can't visit someone in the hospital that you've been living with for 20 years just because you happen to be the same gender as that person. I guess I'm happy that I'm not in a relationship with someone, because I don't think I'd want to deal with that fact. But yeah. Wow. So anyway, that's my coming out story. A lot of stories. I think coming out is a very powerful thing. It helps me understand myself, and it helps me develop a relationship with my parents. It helps me kind of, when I came out to them, I was able to say things about myself and then believe them, believe the things I was saying. And I think it helped create kind of and solidify what I already felt inside. So that was very good. So, yeah, that's how I came out.